the most thing that I think that I've most been successful at through my life, and I'm old enough to say it now, is manipulating the media. You understand? At Ole Miss, if there were 50 headlines that come out of Ole Miss, James Meredith decided what 49 of them was going to be. You understand that? I mean, so not only, did I learn that technique, I learned the tricks that the Greeks used. You understand that? I learned the tricks they use with women. How either a leader or someone who wanted to acquire leadership would pick certain kinds of women and use them to communicate certain points. That they wanted to make to the audience. The two things that I spent most of my life studying was the art of communicating with the mass, not mass communication, communicating with the mass, and the art of deception. Now, most people think of the art of deception as learning how to deceive people, but I never had that interest. My interest was in learning how to perceive deception in others. You understand? That was what I found out, that the ancient leaders that were successful were able to do. They were able to determine when somebody was lying to them, pulling their leg, or telling the truth. And that's the real value of the art of deception. And communicating with the mass, most of the things that I have done or said over the years was meant to have effect 30, 40 years into the future. So actually, and I think I've been pretty good, this harder to measure, at perceiving deception. But my own evaluation is that in mass communicating, or communicating with the mass, or dealing with public relations. You see, the man that wrote James Meredith is Crazy is still the dean of the media in Mississippi. I can't think his name right now, well as I know it. But he has been considered the dean. He's way in his 80s now. Since that time, he was at that time considered to be the most important newsman in the state of Mississippi. Wisdom. Anyway, no. But he came to Jackson State. That's how smart he was. He found out where I was. Got on Jackson State campus and interviewed me. And I wrote him a letter a couple of years ago and thanked him for what he did. Not only did he say James Meredith was crazy in that article, but every important newsman that's come to Mississippi from around the world to do anything about James Meredith always go to him first. And he always told them James Meredith was crazy. Now, but he don't know that was a principal part of my scheme. There ain't nothing more powerful than crazy. Crazy is the most powerful thing that is in the world, particularly for an individual who can be said to be crazy, but the whole world knows he's not. You understand that? That's power. That is power.
And so you created the illusion of craziness.
Absolutely. Because of the power of crazy.
Because crazy would allow you to do things and say things that you would not be able to do if you didn't have that label on you.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you understand, Deceiving is not really what it is. But you see what most people don't understand. At least 95% of every black in Mississippi was against me going to Ole Miss because they felt threatened by it. You understand? Status quo is comfortable for anybody, anytime in the world. And they're always threatened. Now, I knew that perfectly. You understand? And I knew that the people had to be moved. You understand? And, I mean, I learned the technology of moving them. And what most people don't know, I have done as much to turn people against me. I always felt I had a responsibility, if I reached a certain level of popularity, to use that to teach people something they need to know, otherwise that I didn't have enough popularity to lose. You understand? I mean, so I played that all my life.